Are you looking to cultivate a sense of peace and tranquility in your home, while also fostering spiritual growth and well-being? In today's video, we will explore the ancient practice of placing salt in a sacred corner of your house and observe the powerful effects it can have on your surroundings. 1. The front doorway. In Buddhism, the opening is more than just a place to go in and out. Being able to cross this barrier between the real world and your personal sanctuary is a sign of change. It stands for the trip from the outside to the inside, from the temporary to the permanent. Buddhists believe that everything changes, and putting salt at your front door is a powerful way to remember this. One of the most important ideas in Buddhism is impermanence. It tells us that everything in life is short-lived, changes all the time, and ends. Everything in life changes and ends, just like salt does in water. This knowledge can help us let go of ties, which leads to inner peace and calm. You can also represent the act of cleansing by putting salt at your front door. In many cultures, salt is thought to clean things by soaking bad energies and making a barrier to keep them out. In the Buddhist world, this can be seen as a figure of speech for making the mind pure. In the same way that salt cleans the air, we can clear our minds of bad ideas and feelings to achieve inner peace and clarity. By putting salt at the door, you can be reminded every day to be aware. Mindfulness is an important part of Buddhist practice. It tells us to be fully present in the present moment, to notice our thoughts and feelings without judging them, and to become very aware of both our inner and outer worlds. Let the salt tell you to be mindful, stay present, and grow your awareness every time you walk through the door and see it. Putting salt at your front door can represent a caring and giving spirit. These qualities are very important in Buddhism and form the basis of right behavior. Just like salt is given away for free to make food taste better, let's develop a spirit of generosity by giving all people love, kindness, and understanding for free. When looked at through the lens of Buddhism, putting salt at your front door is a very holy act. We can always see it and remember what Buddha taught us, which helps us get to enlightenment. 2. Places in your living room. A lot of the time, the living room is the center of the house. It's where people meet, talk, and share their lives. It's a sign of society, talking to each other and being together. We are not just following a routine when we put salt in the corners of this room. We are also practicing a deep spiritual practice that can change our lives and the way we relate to others. The truth of pain, or dukkha, is shown in the first corner. We all go through different kinds of suffering in life, like physical pain, mental pain, loss, and disappointment. It helps us remember this truth when we put salt in this spot. Life can be painful and hard, just like salt can sting an open wound. Recognizing this truth is not a reason to be hopeless. It is a step toward understanding how things work and finding a way to stop suffering. The truth about why people suffer, or samudaya, is in the second area. According to Buddhism, we suffer because we want and hold on to material things, don't like what we don't like, and don't know what life is really like. Putting salt in this corner can remind us of our ties and aversions, which, like too much salt, can throw our lives out of balance and cause us pain. Knowing this truth can help us let go of our ties and find peace within ourselves. Nirodha, the truth of the end of pain, is shown in the third corner. This truth tells us that we can end pain by getting rid of the things that cause it. When we put salt in this corner, it can mean that our minds will be cleansed and changed, which will stop all suffering. Understanding the Four Noble Truths can clean our thoughts and set us free from suffering, just like salt can clean water. Majika, which means truth, stands for the fourth corner. It shows the way to the end of pain. This road, called the Noble Eightfold Road, is a set of rules for being moral, keeping your mind in check, and being wise. Putting salt in this corner can help us remember to stay on this road, just like salt makes food taste better when used correctly. By following the Noble Eightfold Path, we can become wise, behave morally, and train our minds, which will stop suffering. 3. Under your bed. The space under your bed where you can rest, recharge, and find comfort, is an important part of our spiritual journey. People put salt under their beds as a strong sign of cleansing, protection, and change, which is very similar to what Buddhism teaches. A very important part of mental growth is purification. It means admitting our mistakes, bad feelings, and unhealthy thoughts, and then letting them go. Putting salt under your bed can be a sign of this process of getting clean. As salt takes in dirt from its surroundings, let this serve as a reminder to take in life's lessons, clean up your mind, and work on growing spiritually. Allowing ourselves to let go of any anger, bitterness, or hostility makes us feel calm and peaceful. With its ability to preserve food and clean, salt has long been linked to safety. Putting it under your bed can make it a sign of psychic protection, keeping away bad energies and influences. The place under your bed is also a sign of change, and when we come out, we feel refreshed and ready to go again. Putting salt here can help us remember that we have the power to change. This fits with the Buddhist idea of anatta, which means no self, and means that our identities are not set in stone, but are always shifting and growing. Let's accept the fact that we can change and work to become better versions of ourselves every day, just like salt can change the taste of food. Putting salt under your bed can help you remember to be aware and think every day. Before you go to sleep or wake up in the morning, think about what you did, what you thought, and how you felt during the day. Mindfulness and meditation are important parts of Buddhism because they help people become more spiritually mature and self-aware. From a Buddhist point of view, putting salt under your bed is not just a ritual, but a deep spiritual exercise. It always reminds us of the importance of purification, protection, change, and awareness, which helps us get to enlightenment. So go ahead and put salt under your bed. The Buddhist wisdom and kindness will shine on your life. The kitchen is a sign of change because it's there that raw foods are turned into healthy meals. In the same way, in Buddhism, the way to enlightenment is to change our thoughts from ones of ignorance and suffering to ones of wisdom and kindness. Putting salt in the kitchen can help you remember how this process changes things. The middle way, or Majjhima Patipada, is one of the most important ideas in Buddhism. This principle tells us to avoid the extremes of excess and asceticism, and instead find balance and moderation in all parts of our lives. Being too much or too little in life can be bad, just like too much or too little salt can ruin a dish. We learn from the middle way that balance and unity are the keys to real happiness and peace. Making meals to share with family and friends in the kitchen is also a way to meet and share. This may make us think of the Buddhist idea of metta, which means loving kindness. Loving kindness makes our relationships and exchanges with others better, just like salt makes food taste better. By developing a loving kindness heart, we can build good relationships, make the world a better place, and help other people be happy and healthy. People have said that cooking is like meditating on the present moment. Mindfulness in Buddhism means being fully present and involved in the present moment, without judging it or getting distracted. When we cook with mindfulness, we pay full attention to the smells, feels, and tastes of the food we are making, and are fully present in the act of cooking. Being mindful is important for mental growth and enlightenment, and this practice can help us get better at it. A Buddhist idea called anicca says that everything changes and that the kitchen can help us remember that. While cooking, items change shape. In the same way, everything in life can change and break down. For those who understand this concept, it can help them let go of attachments, find inner peace, and be calm when life goes up and down. The kitchen can also stand for the Buddhist idea of paticca samuppada, which means dependence on others. Life's events are all linked and depend on each other, just like a meal is made up of many interconnected parts: the farmer who grew the food, the sun and rain that fed it, and the cook who cooked it. We can become more grateful, humble, and compassionate by realizing how everything is linked. From a Buddhist point of view, putting salt in the kitchen is not just a simple thing to do, but a deep spiritual exercise. We can always see it and remember what Buddha taught us, which helps us get to enlightenment. 4. The kitchen. The kitchen is more than just a place to cook and prepare food. It's a sign of love, health, and survival. The kitchen can be seen as a symbol of the middle way in Buddhism. The middle way is a basic teaching that says everything in life should be balanced and moderate. The middle way encourages us to be balanced and moderate, which can be shown by putting salt in the kitchen. Being too much or too little in life can be bad, just like too much or too little salt can ruin a dish. Too much attachment to material joys can cause us to suffer, and too much penance can stop us from growing spiritually. The middle way tells us to find balance, to enjoy life's joys without getting attached to them, and to be self-disciplined without hurting other people or ourselves. The act of cooking itself can be seen as a mindfulness exercise that helps us stay in the present moment and pay attention. Mindfulness-based cooking means that we are fully involved in the process and aware of every feel, taste, and sound. There are no fears or thoughts of the past that are taking over our minds. We are just here and now, in the present. Mindfulness can help us find inner peace and calmness, which are very important on the path to understanding. You can also use the kitchen to remind yourself of the Buddhist idea of paticca samuppada, which means dependence on others. All things in life are linked and depend on each other, just like how parts work together to make a dish. Nothing lives by itself. As we become more aware of how our actions, words, and thoughts impact not only ourselves, but also other people and the world around us, we can become more compassionate and kind. We can also show the Buddhist trait of kindness, or dana, in the kitchen. We give more than just food when we cook for other people. We give love and care. Their bodies are getting food, but their hearts and souls are also getting food. Giving can make us happy and fulfilled, and it can also help us develop a kind and grateful heart. The kitchen is more than just a place to cook and prepare food. It is a holy place where we can follow the Buddhist principles. Let the salt in the kitchen remind us of the middle way, of being mindful, of how we all rely on each other, and of being kind. Let it motivate us to live more mindfully, with balance, kindness, and charity. Let it show us the way to enlightenment as we try to end pain and find real peace and happiness. Continuing our look into the spiritual meanings of putting salt in different parts of your home, we now arrive in the bathroom, a room where you can clean up and feel refreshed. When looking at things spiritually, people often forget about the bathroom. But in Buddhism, it has a very important role. The act of putting salt in the bathroom can be a strong reminder of the Buddhist practice of clearing the mind. Our bodies are cleaned by water, and so are our brains. We need to get rid of bad thoughts and feelings. A big part of the Buddhist road is cleaning up your mind, which leads to clarity, calmness, and inner peace. Buddhism says that the mind is like a lake. The water in the lake is clear, and you can see the bottom when it is still. But when the lake is stirred up, the water gets cloudy and makes it hard to see. In the same way, having negative thoughts and feelings can cloud our inner view, which can cause us to be confused, suffer, and be unhappy. When used in this way, salt can stand for meditation, which is the main way that Buddhists clean their minds. Like how salt cleans water by removing impurities, meditation can help clean the mind by getting rid of the mental impurities that get in the way of our inner view. It's not about pushing away or ignoring bad feelings and thoughts during meditation. Instead, it's about being aware of them and not judging them. By doing this, we can learn more about them by seeing how they start, last, and end. By knowing them better, we can let go of our attachment to them and let them go away on their own, like salt dissolves in water. Putting salt in the bathroom can also help us remember the Buddhist idea of changelessness. Everything in life can change, just like salt can dissolve and take on new forms. This knowledge can help us let go of ties and dislikes, which leads to inner peace and calm. The bathroom can also stand for the change that is happening. As we change when we go to the bathroom, so too do we change when we leave the bathroom. The Buddhist path is about changing our thinking from one of ignorance and suffering to one of wisdom and happiness. As salt has the power to change things, it can be a strong sign of this spiritual change. Putting salt in the bathroom can also help you become more aware. The act of doing this simple thing with awareness and purpose can be turned into a spiritual exercise. At its core, mindfulness is about turning the things we do every day into chances for spiritual growth by doing them with awareness and purpose. 6. Workspace or home office. Let's talk more about why putting salt in your workspace or home office is important, and how this simple act can serve as a strong reminder of some important Buddhist teachings that can help us in our work lives. To begin, having salt in your office can represent the Buddhist idea of being mindful. It's easy to get caught up in the never-ending stream of chores and due dates that make up our work lives. But mindfulness tells us to pay attention to the present moment and the job at hand. Mindfully adding salt to food makes it taste better. And the same is true for us. Being fully present and engaged at work can make it better. Second, salt can help us remember how important it is to be humble and keep learning. In Buddhism, there is a saying that goes, "Be like salt. It dissolves in water without changing." This can mean that even when you succeed, you should stay humble and willing to learn. Just like salt doesn't brag about how it can make food taste better, let's not brag about what we've done. Instead, let's stay humble and commit to growing and getting better all the time. Third, having salt in your workspace can help you remember the Buddhist message that everything is connected. In our work lives, this is especially true. No one is an island. We depend on others to help, work together, and show us the way. Just like salt can't make food taste better by itself, we can't reach our work goals on our own. We can build a spirit of teamwork and cooperation by realizing how much we count on each other. This will make the workplace more positive and productive. Also, salt can stand for the Buddhist concept of right effort. The idea behind this theory is that we should do our best in everything we do without caring about how it turns out. Let us give our all to our work without holding on to hopes or fears of failing, just like salt dissolves fully in water. This way of thinking can help us enjoy our work and feel fulfilled no matter what the results are. The Buddhist teaching of the middle way says that having salt in your workspace can help you remember how important balance is. When we're at work, it's easy to fall into the extremes of overworking and putting things off. But the middle way tells us to find balance and moderation. The right amount of work and rest can make us more productive and healthy, just like the right amount of salt can make food taste better. Putting salt in your office or home office isn't just a tradition. It's also a deep spiritual practice that can help us in our work lives. As a steady reminder of Buddhist teachings, it pushes us to work on being mindful, humble, interdependent, making the right effort, and finding balance in our work.